one of those issues that we must work around when we're discussing. If somebody comes and operates, then we establish that.
All right, this is Chris Hani-Baragwanath on your screen right now. We're trying to get Palesa back up. But while we do that, let me just read a couple of your tweets that we've been receiving from you this morning. Chris Twala saying, the death penalty is our solution. Is it really? Is it a solution? I'm not too sure about that. Paul writing in and saying, our judiciary system is a joke. A rapist averagely receives 10 years in jail. After 4 years, they appeal and then they're released. Paul, that's if they are ever reported and if they ever go to jail. And that's the problem. Valentine saying, if you kill, you must be killed, or else life in jail. Okay. Sheikhs saying, this is demonic, of which we need to pray hard in order to defeat it. Another one, Nomcebo saying, what really gets to me is the little or non-reporting of lesbian murders that happen in the country. Yes, indeed, hashtag lesbian lives matter. Nomcebo, I think you sent a tweet again a little bit earlier as well, mentioning a name of somebody that was killed. I'm trying to just scroll down and try. Here we go. Yeah, this is from you, Nomcebo, saying, amidst all the uproar, now Lorato Malloy, stoned and stabbed to death, has little mention. Okay, so that's the Lesbian Lives Matter. We're sorry about that, Nomcebo. We will look into that as well. We'll continue to put some of your tweets up and talk about these horrific incidents that have been happening around the country. I believe Palesa is back up now. Let's continue this discussion on gender-based violence. Palesa, broadcasting from the Bara Taxi rank this morning. Talk to us a little bit more about what's happening.
All right, Leanne, thank you so much. Once again, as you said, we're still coming to you live from Bara Taxi rank here in Soweto. We saw a protest taking place a little earlier on here, but everything is under control now. The police had to intervene and the situation is back to normal. The taxis and the cars are able to go through to their different destination. Now, to an important issue, back to what we discussed this morning, the scourge of violence facing South Africa. The president is saying we are at a state of crisis here in South Africa. Something has to be done and we have to do something as a collective. But let's just take a look at, I was looking at some of the tweets, some people complaining about the justice system being too lenient to the perpetrators. That's the discussion that we're having this morning with Nondumiso Sibande, she's from Tshwaranang Legal Advocacy Centre. We're also joined by Colonel Lungelo Dlamini, the SAP, as a spokesperson here in Gauteng, and Bafana Magagula from SANTACO, which is South African National Taxi Council. Good morning to the three of you and thank you so much for coming through. Now, Nondumiso, let me just start with you. Some of our viewers were sending through tweets saying that our legal system, the judiciary, is letting us down. Talk to us about the challenges that women still face in South Africa in terms of accessing the justice system.
Yes, you are quite right that the legal system, the criminal justice system, if I should put it that way, is letting a lot of women down. The reality of the matter is, as an organization that is working on addressing violence against women, in particular by promoting access to justice, what we have consistently found is that within the various role players in the criminal justice system, there are challenges. For example, if I should just make an example of the police, what we constantly find is that women are turned away when they come to report issues of domestic abuse. It is still very much recognized as a private issue, which is certainly problematic.
It is true. They'll be told, go back to your partner, sort it out. It's a family matter.
Yes. We're constantly seeing situations like that. And poor investigations at times. I mean, I think we had a bit of a conversation at some point as to what has happened to the issue of the rape of women in taxis. And it's become very clear that very little has been done in that regard. And that happens to be the reality of many women in the country. We're sitting with a situation where many perpetrators are roaming the street as a result of some of the challenges identified in the criminal justice system.
All right, let me just bring Colonel Lungelo Dlamini into the picture. I wouldn't drag you into the justice system, but you'll be speaking for the police. As Nondumiso is saying, many women are turned away when they go to police station to go report violence and the situation that they face.
There are some of those issues that I can deny. Those issues, they've been cropping up from time to time, and we are dealing with them. There are several cases, as I'm speaking to you, where we are taking police officers to task to say why the victims of crimes are turned away from the police station. those police officers, some of them, they have been charged. If we find that the allegations against them, they are true, it can result that those police officers, they can be discharged from the service.
But is the SAPS doing enough, Colonel Dlamini? I mean, for the fact that these cases still continue to happen, are you doing enough, really?
We are trying our best. We are doing. I think we are doing enough. Although there are some of the cases where we failed the victims of a crime. But in those...
So are you basically saying that the nation is correct to put a blame on the SAPS to say, look, this SAPS is failing us. We're not going to get anywhere in terms of finding a solution to the problem because they're not taking our cases?
I cannot say we are failing, but I'm saying there are those cases. So I cannot deny that there are cases where our members, they turn the victims away.
So in a way, it translates to the SAPS failing the community. If it happens, it means that certain victims, Nondumiso, are being failed by the SAPS.
Yes, indeed. My position is the South African police are failing women in the country, and that happens to be the reality, Colonel. As I said, a lot of women are being turned away. There's a study that's been done that says, in actual fact, where we are sitting now, 1 in 20 women don't report issues of domestic abuse and rape, and a part of that reason is exactly the challenges that we face at the South African police services. So we certainly are not doing enough, and when it comes to investigations, as I've said earlier, we are consistently finding that the investigations are poor. There's a lack of communication between the survivor and South African police services. We constantly have to come in as organizations to try and find out how far those cases are gone, where we're sitting, and without that kind of intervention, a lot of women give up along the way because there just isn't much.
Let the Colonel respond on the issue of poor investigation.
Yes, there are instances where our members are being accused of poor investigation, but we are doing everything possible, and we are appealing to the victims of crime that if they believe that they are receiving poor service from the police, all those incidents must be reported so that we can take action.
All right, Ntate Magagula, let me just bring you into the conversation here. We're hearing issues. I don't know if you're able to hear me. It's very noisy where we are this morning. I'm just going to ask you to swap places with Nondumiso so that you can be able to hear what I'm asking you. The issue of violence within taxi industries, it's not something new. It has always been there. And SANTACO has always come out to say, we will look into this issue. These are the programs that we have to fight the scourge. But it looks like it's something that's not going away. What is lacking?
Well, thank you very much for allowing us into your program in the first place. It's not like we put in or folding our hands. We're doing all the best we can. We have joined organizations like Sonke Justice. We're going from one taxi rank to another. We've been to already a few provinces with Sonke Justice, going to taxi ranks, campaigning and preaching people about this issue of gender justice. People, looking at themselves, men especially.
But I think now it's a question of, are you doing enough? Is it enough? The programs that you have in place. I mean, if you see a taxi driver says Nondumiso, you'd agree with me. You're seeing they're being painted with the same brush of being violent. They swear at us even on the road. It's something that we know, and it's something that we cannot look away from. These things are real. They're happening. Women are being assaulted at taxi rank. There's a recent case that happened earlier this week. A woman was assaulted by a taxi driver, went to the police station, turned away by the police officers to go to the taxi association. So the problem is beyond what we see in front of us, Baba Magagula.
Precisely, and that is why what we are saying, all of us, we need to stop blaming each other, blaming the police, blaming the taxi industry, blaming the women, blaming the men. We need to come together. Organizations like my sister next to me, Tate Dlamini, and the police, we need to come together. The ministers, we need to come together.
Are you really saying, we quickly need to take an ad break, are you saying I should take a blame of a behavior by a taxi driver who is doing something that is wrong and knows in his conscience that it is wrong and yet continues to do it.
That's precisely what I'm saying, because it also amazes us as the taxi owners. We are like employers, and we employ these people from the community. It's not people that we make, it's people that we employ. Hence we say, if we keep blaming each other that when this driver is driving a taxi, he's a different person from a person that is from the community. I'm also from the community. That is why we need to stop blaming, because when we keep on blaming the taxi association, blaming taxi leadership, then the dirty man, that is dirty, because it's not all taxi drivers. That dirty taxi driver, he gets hiding behind, he hides behind that blanket that it's all taxi drivers. So we need, as community, to identify and root him out together. We must do it together. The police, the organizations, and the association. But also, I think mostly what we leave out is those men of God out there who must come and assist us to raise up the consciousness of that man. Because when you have not received God, you'll always be a dirty man out there. So we need those men. We need those men of God to come and join us at taxi ranks.
There's so much that I wanted to talk to you about, but unfortunately it looks like we've run out of time. We're quickly going to take an ad break here on Morning Live. There's still so much more to come live from Bara Taxi Rank. Do stay tuned.